That movie is the 2013 film The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, directed by and starring Ben Stiller. So what is it about this movie that I love so much? Walter brings us into his world where he dreams about being the hero, facing his fears, and getting the girl. I think we all can relate to being afraid of stepping out into the unknown and pursuing the adventures we want to have in life. Walter is afraid externally, but internally, he's facing his fears head on through his daydreams.
I'm Walter. Mitty.
Slowly, we see Walter start to live out his dreams and run towards the adventures he has been longing for. In the end, we almost see a different man. With all this said, I also love the pursuit to find the negative that Sean O'Connell entrusted Walter with.
He's 25.
It's not there.
This is the reason he stepped out to pursue the adventure. For most of the first half of the film, the camera is static. There are no crazy camera movements. This represents how Walter is stuck. He hasn't experienced much adventure at this point and lives out his dreams through his imagination.
Where have you been?
Testing the limits of the human spirit.
We see very tight close-ups and very wide shots. When Walter is having his daydreams, we see an almost handheld look. The camera also moves in a much more free way compared to Walter's grounded reality. Once Walter starts to have his own adventure, the camera starts to track and move with Walter, expressing his move into more of his own adventures. The film opens with the ticking of a clock. The clock sound appears multiple times throughout the first half of the film. The time is ticking and leading us to adventure Walter will discover. The music of Jose Gonzalez is both calming and inspiring at the same time. The humming and simple melodies are timed perfectly and just sound good. Throughout the film, there are really vivid colors. You have very bright blues for the opening and most of the time and life office scenes. The colors then move to a rich red, muted greens, and dark blues as we follow Walter on his adventures. Overall, you get to experience so much emotion based only on the colors. As you move towards the end of the movie where Walter is having more of his adventures, you see more changes in color and more variation compared to the more muted colors at the beginning of the film. First, I want to mention that this movie was shot on film, which I think is a stylistic choice and also something that Ben Stiller and Stuart Dryburgh were comfortable shooting in. I also want to look at the intentional perspectives we see when Walter is having one of his dreams. These moments feel almost dreamlike. During the moments of great thought or inspiration, we also see a slow push in to Walter's face. Walter longs for adventure and can be reserved at first, but once he is inspired, he jumps right in.
Go now! Go, 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 go! No, Walter! I'm at the other boat! The little boat!
It's often hard to take that first step, but once you do, I would say that the adventure is well worth it and makes life fun. I'm inspired every time I watch this amazing film to get out and not be afraid of the adventures life will bring, and I hope you will do the same. Walter finally has a very inspiring moment with Sean and Todd from eHarmony towards the end of the movie. He has a newfound perspective on life from his conversation with Sean, where he tells Walter in a subtle way to live in the moment.
I just want to stay in it.
Todd asks about Walter's daydreaming, and Walter says, lately less. Walter has finally stepped out in order to live out real-life adventures. I'm Spencer Gurley, and thanks for watching.